Hello students. Today we will start with reproduction in lower and higher plants part 2. In part 1 we have already studied till the development of male gametophyte from same chapter. So today we will be studying structure of ovule and functions of different parts of ovule, development of female gametophyte, structure of female gametophyte, pollination and its types, agencies for pollination and floral adaptations. Let us see the structure of ovule. As we know that gynoecium is the female reproductive floral whorl having individual member, that is carpel. Each carpel consists of ovary, style and stigma. Inside the ovary there is a single ovule or many ovules present. The structure of ovule is, it is attached to the ovary wall by placenta, and stalk of the ovule is known as funicle. Point of attachment of ovule to the placenta is known as hilum. The nucellus is the central body of the ovule, which is covered by integuments, the outer integument and the inner integument. Mostly angiospermic ovules are showing two integuments, hence it is called as bitegmic ovule. The integument does not surround the nucellus completely but leave a small pore or space for the entry of pollen tube, that is called as micropyle. The end opposite to micropyle is called as chalaza. Inside the nucellus there is a female gametophyte or embryo sac is present, which consists of antipodal cells, secondary nucleus and egg apparatus. These are the functions of different parts of ovule. You can see here funicle, it is for support, nucellus, inside the nucellus development of female gametophyte takes place, integuments are for the protection of nucellus, micropyle, as I told you, it is for the entry of pollen tube in the ovule during fertilization. Egg apparatus consists of egg, which is a female gamete, polar nuclei. Polar nuclei fuse with the second male gamete and form the primary endosperm nucleus. Antipodal cells are accessory cells which degenerate after the fertilization. Process of formation of haploid megaspores from diploid megaspore mother cell is known as megasporogenesis. Megaspore mother cell is situated in nucellus at the micropylar end. The megaspore mother cell by meiosis form linear tetrad of 4 megaspores. The upper 3 megaspores degenerate and the lower one is functional. This functional megaspore is the first cell of female gametophyte. The functional megaspore undergoes 3 successive mitotic divisions. The first mitotic division forms 2 nuclei which migrate to the opposite poles. The second mitotic division takes place and 2 nuclei are formed at each pole. And after the third mitotic division, 4 nuclei are formed at each pole. So, at the end of the third mitotic division, 8 nuclei are formed which are distributed equally at each pole. Now, one from each pole, the nuclei move towards the center called polar nuclei. 3 nuclei at the micropylar end and 3 nuclei lie at the chalazal end. When we see Structure of female gametophyte. The three nuclei which are present at the chalazal end, they form antipodals. The two polar nuclei fuse to form secondary nucleus, and three nuclei which are at the micropylar end, they form egg apparatus. This egg apparatus consists of large egg cell and two supporting cells called synergids. Thus, the mature embryo sac or female gametophyte is 7-celled 8-nucleated structure. As the development of embryo sac takes place inside the single megaspore, it is called monosporic and endosporic development. Means it takes place in a single megaspore and inside the megaspore. That's why it is called as monosporic and endosporic development. Pollination. The process of transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma is known as pollination. It is the first essential step of fertilization process in angiosperms and all seed-bearing plant. The transfer of pollen grains may take place from anther to stigma of same flower. It may take place from anther to stigma of another flower of same plant, or it may be from anther to stigma of another flower produced on different plant. And accordingly, there are three types of pollination: self-pollination, that is autogamy, cnidogamy, and cross-pollination. This cross-pollination requires some agents or factors for pollination. These are abiotic factor and biotic factor. The abiotic factors are wind and water, and the biotic factors are insects, bats, snails, birds, animals, etc. The abiotic factors are wind and water. Pollination by wind is known as anemophily and pollination by water is known as hydrophily. The wind pollinated plants are known as anemophilous. They show certain adaptation for wind pollination. These adaptations are: flowers are non-attractive, small, without nectar and smell. Pollen grains are light in weight, dry and produced in large quantity so that they can be easily carried through wind. Stigma is feathery to trap the pollens. Example for this is grasses, maize, sugarcane. Pollination by water is known as hydrophily, and the adaptations shown by hydrophilous flowers are small, non-attractive. Perianth and other floral parts are unwettable because these are plants which are found in water. Pollen grains are long and unwettable due to presence of mucilage. Nectar and fragrance is also absent in these flowers. Hydrophily is of two types: hypohydrophily and epihydrophily. The biotic agents are different living organisms. These are insects, birds, bats, snails, etc. Pollination by insects is known as entomophily. Pollination by birds is known as ornithophily, and pollination by bat is known as chirapterophily. In entomophily or insect pollinated plants, the flowers are attractive and brightly colored. They may be in the inflorescence to attract the insects. In ornithophyly, flowers are brightly colored, large, and usually show funnel-shaped corolla. That means tubular corolla, so that the beak of in bird can easily enter in the flower for pollination. Flowers are not having smell because birds have poor sense of smell. And in chiropterophily, that means pollination by bats, flowers are large, having bad smell, just like a rotten fruit smell, but flower produce edible pollen grains in large amount to attract the bats. So this is what about the different abiotic and biotic agents for pollination. Here are some questions for you. We will continue the same topic in the next part. Thank you.